Shandu, I will them a team of friends and Medeama Pobokono, Fatal Suleiman, and so in a game to be Nuruddin Abdullah, and so started game no, Manuel Mate started game no, Ebenezer and Kruma, and so 8 me started game no, and so 8 me on Prosper Boachi also started game no, Sansa Kingsley Braye, and so started game, Emmanuel Owusu, and Prince Owusu, Kevin and Kruma, and so 8 me.
This happens to be another big game in the Ghana Premier League, of course. It is match day 33 in Kumasi. It is Asante Kotoko playing against Medeama Sporting Club, and we're going to go into the game, try to talk with the two coaches and see how things are going to go. But before that, it is Kotoko playing at home, missing some very key players, and very soon we'll see how things will go. And then Coach Abdul Karim Zito is here with me, a legend of the club, and also for now, the man who leads everything in terms of the technical direction. Good afternoon, Coach.
Good afternoon.
I'm Coach. A game against Medeama, of course, a very tough side. Your opponent, Coach Tanko, you've played against him several times. What makes it special or a lot difficult playing against his teams?
Well, when you come to count teams that are formidable, I think Medeama is part of it. And you know, Medeama's story can never end without my name. I was their first coach. I know how seriously they've taken football. So definitely, they attach much importance to every game they will play. That makes the game very distinct for us. And today, to us, today will be our last game of the season at home. So we have to press. We have to do everything possible to win, to make our supporters happy.
Coach, you are missing some very good players, key players, Kwame Opoku, we've also noticed
that we had so many yellow cards that really played there will not play today. You see how serious the issue is. So with Samba yellow card, Saka yellow card, and what do you call him, Billy to yellow card, there's nothing you can do. So definitely you have to bring what you have to fight for what you want.
you talked about the fact that this is your last home game. What do you think you guys need to do to impress those who have come? Because you have some other games to play.
Yes, today we have to win. Every supporter who comes to the field want to see his team winning. So if we win today, I think they will be happy and play good football for them. I think they will be happy. So that's the only thing we have to do to make them happy. Play good football and win.
But we wish you well.
Thank you very much.
That was Coach Abdul Karim Sito talking about the game. He also made mention of the fact that he was the first head coach to have managed Medeama Sporting Club, and he knows everything, the ins and outs, the pros and the cons of the club. But today he happens to be on the other side, and Coach Ibrahim Tanko is here with me, a legend of the game, and of course this time he's the coach for Medeama Sporting Club. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Coach, you are playing against Kumasi Asante Kotoko and the Kumasi Sports Stadium here. Playing here against Kotoko, how difficult does it make?
It's always difficult, and I mean playing Kotoko in their home ground because of the fans cheering them. But and I play against them several times, and I think today is also going to be a very good game.
Coach, your opponent, Coach Karim Zito, talked about the fact that he was the first coach to have managed Medeama Sporting Club. A warm afternoon in the middle of the country as the world watches on. The last time Kotoko will play at home this season. The beautiful display, pride and affection could likely be the motive. As any impact of this game's results will rely massively on what happens at other venues. It's Kumasi Asante Kotoko playing their match day 33 games against Medeama Sporting Club at home this afternoon. This, of course, will be the last time Asante Kotoko will play at home. And Coach Abdul Karim Zito made just a few changes in the team that played against Bibiani Gold Stars in Bibiani. Mohamed Kamara started in post, and Henry Kwame Ansu captains the team this afternoon in the absence of Justice Blake, who is sidelined due to yellow cards. Michael Chedramana, Elvis Chebafor, Patrick Asiedu, and also Albert Amoa, Baba Yaya, Joseph Ablo, Lord Amoa, Andrew Sintimeru, and Peter Amidu Akwa, who came on in Bibiani to impress so well. So this afternoon, he has got the nod to start. Justice Blake, and also Samba Onel and Saka Dauda. They'll all be missing this game due to the accumulation of yellow cards. On the part of the away team, Coach Ibrahim Tanko started Felix Che in post. The man in your shot. He went with Fatau Suleimana, who will be the captain this afternoon. Nuruddin Abdullahi, Manuel Mante, Ebenezer Nkrumah, Mubarak Yusuf, Prosper Boachi Usu, Kingsley Brai, who has scored one hat-trick this season, Emmanuel Owusu, Prince Owusu, and Kelvin Nkrumah. Abdul Latif Adari is going to be the referee for this game this afternoon. So that is the lineup for the away side you have in your shot. A missing piece of the puzzle this afternoon is going to be Kamaradini Mahmoud, who is with the Black Stars in the United Kingdom for the Unity Cup. But they still have a very formidable team, Medeama, to compete this afternoon. Lots of stars on the bench. Derek Fojo, Bernardino Osatete, Adams Abdul Jabal, Godfred Aban, Kobina Amwa, Nana Kofi Babel, God knows Japasu, David Boyce and Frempong, and Yao Osei. Medeama have a very thick bench, which they could make any substitutions at any point to have an impact on the game. Welcome one and all to the Kumasi Baba Nyara Sports Stadium for the
Medeama with a lot of key players on the bench, but they are winless in their last 5 away games. But one thing Kotoko must take notice is that they've scored 10 in their last 5 games in the Ghana Premier League. But this is Kotoko, who are yet to lose a game, especially in their last 5 home games against any opponent in the Ghana Premier League. So it tells you Kotoko are high flying at home against a team that decided to bench most of, their key players going to this game. Let's see whether, they can justify something out of it. But last season, Kotoko managed to snatch 4 points out of 6 against Medeama. This season, they drew the first leg, and we're hoping to at least make sure to maintain that kind of bragging right against Medeama Football Club. But let's see whether they can maintain the momentum, the absence of the likes of Justice Blay. Maybe, just maybe, they can do something promising. Also, Samba or another reliable figure is also missing due to maybe some injuries and whatever. So I think it's going to be a good game. But the atmosphere is there for pride, for a lot of things, for a lot of quality. Coach Tanko believes in possessing the ball, playing very good football. And ever since, Kotoko and the new leaf of Karim Zito, they are playing very good football. So we are going to witness a very good atmosphere, especially looking at the fact that against the Bibiani Gold Stars, the likes of, Peter Amido Aqua came in to change the dynamics of the game. And a piece for them to prove themselves in this game.
This, of course, just could be a build-up upon what happened in Bibiani over the weekend. And Kumasi Asante Kotoko just knowing really well that they need to do something to please the fans in their last home game. Papa Lord Amwa, who has been sidelined for a very long time due to injury, in his absence, it was Michael Sefa, Adriana Jete, and sometimes Justice Blay, who have been used as right backs. But this time, Lord is back to his favorite position.
Of course, and he's playing his 20th game, but he's had 2 yellow cards. 3 seasons with Brekumi Chelsea before moving to Kumasi Asante Kotoko. Lord Amwa, a reliable figure, especially from the start of the season. But due to injury, now he's back.
Medeama Sporting Club holding on to the ball. Just as Coach Ibrahim Tanko said, this is a game of less pressure. Because both teams know that at least something needs to happen somewhere before one of them can be in the talk of the title. Karim Zito, the man who is acting as the head coach until the end of the season. But there have been a lot of talks for him to be maintained beyond this particular mandate. And looking at the kind of work he's been doing, I think he may deserve a chance.
Why not? Looking at the new leaf Kotoko are within, and especially the confidence on players. And we also a very good player in recent times. A lot of things, a lot of numbers are happening so good for Karim Zito.
That was a bit of, an interception in play from Abdul Latif Adari. Ebenezer Nkrumah, Felix Chi, Kotoko seeking to put a bit of pressure. Switch to the left. Not the best of crosses from Fatau Suleimana. The man who has been in top form alongside Kamaradin Mahmoudou on both flanks this season.
Experience within his veins. 6 seasons running for Medeama Football Club. And he's been consistent.
Joseph Ablo. He actually had a very good game against BBN Gold Stars. And he was one of the reasons why BBN could not win that game against Kumasi Asante Kotoko.
Joseph Ablo, he's shown that kind of aggressiveness at the back to scare the opponent from getting closer to the 80-yard box of Kotoko. And he's been providing a very good pair with Henry Ansu at the back. But he must limit the level of aggression within his game. He might one day give away a very dangerous incident against himself. 7 yellow cards this season. It tells you how aggressive he is, Joseph Ablo.
This is a pass. Medeama could make it one, and they have done it. What a way to announce your presence. It is Kingsley Braye. And he has plunged it in. That was a freezing pass through for Kingsley Braye. And the finish was just top notch. The man who scored a hat-trick against Dreams FC this season has gone on and done it against Kumasi Asante Kotoko.
Kingsley Braye, Inter Allies, Armina Sharks, Susubrubi FC, and now Medeama. He just scored his 6th goal of the season in 18 games. Of course, a hat-trick against Dreams FC. He scored against Nations and Vision, and he just added the icing on the cake against Kumasi Asante Kotoko. But just watch the defense of Kotoko when Medeama was trying to initiate the attack. And that is something coach must try to cater for, especially looking at how the fullbacks always join the attack and leave a lot of gaps behind for the opponent to exploit.
That was an incisive pass. And between Henry Ansu and Joseph Ablo, there was just no communication between them. Which of them should attack the situation? Which of them should remain calm? They failed to get that connection between them. And Medeama wouldn't mind any of that because they lead in Kumasi so early in the game. Another pass. And that is Kevin and Chroma. Kamara, the man who has taken over the post since the arrival of coach Karim Zito. No room whatsoever for Frederick Asare. And Felix Shea, another good goalkeeper in the Ghana Premier League this season.
It was Apia Kubi from the start of the season. But after recovering, he's been the man in post for Medeama. And you can never doubt his qualities anytime. He's in 17th game this season for Medeama, and it's good.
Ablo sends it to Alberta Moa. He gets Peter. Through to Che. And that cross was a bit troublesome for Felix Che. But he made no room for errors there. Knowing very well they're in a comfortable lead at this point, there will be no room for errors.
In team menu, just playing that somebody else's new role, and he's not giving that kind of cover needed, because looking at Che Jamina, he's more or less having that forward thinking abilities than giving shows in defense, and the team is always overloaded whenever Medeama are trying to progress the ball from deep areas in midfield. And it's a problem, of course, because that kind of cover is lacking.
So, a kind of a 4-1-4-1 this afternoon. And that has been the the formation always when they play at home. Just check the body language of the player. Kingsley Bright. You just knew he was going to put it in that angle, but there's nothing you can do about it.
But Manuel Mante just gave an incisive pass that any striker cannot miss, because that was a line splitting one from this experienced midfielder.
Still Medeama. Emmanuel Owusu. Gas Suleimana. Nuruddin Abdullah. Nice turn. Another unblemished pass. The first touch could have caused lots of harm for Kumasi Asante Kotoko. And Kotoko at the moment going with a 5-man defense. Just trying to make sure. This is Suleimana. It can be 2. But he failed to take it.
Kotoko should be aware of the through passes from Medeama, especially from every angle whenever Medeama are getting closer to their box. Because the first goal came through an incisive through pass, and this one, it was quite, ambitious just for Suleimana to fumble with it. But it's a warning. The back line should be very cautious, because Medeama can tease you around to come, and then they can exploit your back line. It's a caution for Kotoko.
Amidu Akwa. This is Peter. He played against a club in yellow last week, and he was on top of issues. Perhaps his favorite color. Emmanuel Owusu attacking down the flank. And the whistle goes for a foul. Of his Chiba 4.
Loramo is a bit suspect in pace, and he should be a bit conserved anytime Kotoko trying to initiate an attack, because Kingsley Bright can still make a lot of moves, especially exploiting that area.
Good pass to Peter Amidu Akwa. This could be what everyone expects it to be. The strike comes. And Felix J has denied them once again.
Great goalkeeping from the tight angle from Felix J. You just have to applaud him for that crucial receive from Karela United, and he's playing his 3rd season for Medeama. A lot of experience. His 17th game running.
Lots going on in the box. Error from Medeama. The Kotoko failed to pounce on it. This could be a break, but Kamara must be there. And he was there. Another pass to the same man. He could do it for the 2nd time. And Kingsley Bright. That is just the game plan. And Medeama executing it perfectly at the moment. Kotoko need to change this.
they should find a way to cater for the wing play Medeama are using, because they have a lot of pacey wingers who are also dangerous having the ball and very tricky, of course, to handle. As a caution to the fullbacks and even the centre backs of Kumasi Asante Kotoko, because a lot of spaces for the opponent. And you can see any pass from Medeama is breaking lines. That is something Kotoko must improve upon. That cover in midfield is lacking. And perhaps the centre backs cannot rely on the shield the midfield is offering. All the time you must anticipate above your level. And that is why they are using a lot of through balls to get their way through Medeama.
So Kumasi Asante Kotoko, they've managed to recover from that situation. And Kotoko yet to pose a single threat that is glaring in the game. Quite apart from that shot from Chebafo, there haven't been any attempt by Asante Kotoko at goal.
You should learn how to defend before thinking of attacking, because the game, you are not on the front foot. At this point, you are more or less chasing the entire angles of the pitch to give a lot of shoulder. And at that moment, you struggle to have your way through, trying to facilitate attack from deep areas.
Good ball from Chebafo, exploiting the space behind. Could this be it? That was good defending. Mohamed Kamara. Kamara puts it behind. This is Lord Amoa. Amoa, lots of space and time. He gets back for Nuruddin Abdullahi.
If you have the likes of Nuruddin to contest with in terms of area balls, it's going to be a challenge. And Albert Samoa must at least find other options to sound dangerous in attack for Kotoko.
Miscommunication. This is Kingsley Bright. Can he make another one? And good defending from Henry Ansu. Brian knows he had made an unpardonable mistake by not putting that ball at the back of the net. Kamara was already moving out of goal, and that could have been a lot interesting. Baba Yaya puts it on a far wide, the cross comes in, and Nuruddin Abdullahi, you just cannot pick the area balls.
He's been consistent with a goal this season in 23 games. Nuruddin, a very tough customer to handle.
This is still Kotoko. Peter Amido-Akwa. Nearly squared it all for Asante Kotoko. Check that cross from Lord Amoa. Ebenezer and Nkrumah failed to deal with the situation as expected.
Don't forget, Medeama are averaging 1.3 goal per game, and they've scored 10 in their last 5 prior to this game. So it tells you scoring goals isn't their problem. But the fact of the matter is that they are winless in their last 5 away games, and maybe history may not speak for them despite taking the lead.
Was another ball, but the flag went up. Something needs to change. Asante Kotoko.
Links reverb. No, that's clarity.
Reception from Medeama. Just putting the ball down to enjoy themselves.
Frustration setting in for Kotoko in defense, and that is a big problem because at this point you started losing your head. Medeama are still picking gradually the energy from the guys. You cannot underrate that. So at this point, you must stay concentrated.
Yeah. The guy who won